Gosh, I feel like I have a sneeze that's like really about to come out. Sorry. Um, the first item on our agenda is we have a request from Bolton Spring Farm for the approval of a one-day liquor license for an artisan sale event that they have coming up in November. Um, Hi, could you introduce yourself and just speak a little bit about this request, which I know we've seen in the past?
Yeah, we had one back in July and it went very well. We have Hardwick Vineyard and Winery that they were here back in July and they would like to come out again in a November event. They're looking to be able to pour during it and had great reviews the first time around, so we're hoping to do the same this time.
Great. Any questions, Kate, from you?
None from me. No.
Um, I think it sounds like a great idea, and we are happy to. I'm just quickly going through. Jenny, we've got everything we need, right?
Yes, we do. And I'll note that the police chief also let me know that at the last event, there were absolutely no concerns whatsoever from the police department's perspective.
We've been doing pick your own for about 45 years now, so we're used to handling large crowds. Hopefully, that helps.
That's great. All right, so I would entertain a motion to approve the one-day liquor license for the artisan sale event on November 16th, 2025 at Bolton Spring Farm at 159 Main Street.
So moved.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Kate.
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Thank you, Ms. Stevenson.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank
have a
you.
good evening.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, and then next up, we have another series of requests related to an event being sponsored by the Bolton Community Fund. So, Liz, how are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, guys. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Can you just walk us through the requests?
Sure. So the Bolton Community Fund 5K, which will be held on October 11th, Saturday. We are asking permission to put up some yard sign shaped signs at a couple places in public points in Bolton. I think the Route 117 at 495, Route 85 at 117, Aquatic Hill Road at Memorial Field, Four Bush Mill at Soccer Field, and West Berlin at Aquatic. They're all yard sign sizes, which I think are two by three, and some are smaller. There is a larger one that we have been doing at the on the common at the T with Aquatic Hill Road.
Okay, and so basically there's three requests. There's the request to hold the event on October 11th using the Bolton roadways. There's the request to place 5 signs within the right-of-way, potentially some of which is public right-of-way, beginning at the end of September 27th. And then
That's my understanding.
Then a request to hang a 3-foot by 5-foot banner at the town common from October 4th through October 11th. Or at least that's what we
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I wasn't given all the details of the dates, but yes, that sounds about right.
Okay. One thing that I noticed when we were reviewing the materials is that with all of our road race events, including I think we've approved like 2 or 3 in the past couple of weeks, we require a receipt of certificate of insurance, and I don't think we've gotten that yet. So do you have an update there?
I do not. We met about it last night, and well, we have confirmation from Murphy that they're going to give us one, but we don't actually have it in hand at this point.
Okay. Kate, do you have any questions for Liz?
Do we have the police having signed off? I'm guessing that they will sign off, but do we have that in hand?
Yeah,
We have that in hand. And not my hand, but we have that in hand.
yeah, we have yeah, police approval from Chief Hamburger has approved.
Okay, I mean, I have no issues with the use of the roadways. You know, and I know that there may be an issue as to whether some of the signs that you're requesting are actually in town right of ways or whether they might be controlled by others, but I certainly don't have any problem, you know, approving anything that's on town owned land. That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
The only thing that I want to note, just with regards to the banner is that so right now we have a banner policy that is 2 years old, but when you look at the actual policy, its scope is limited to the railing at Pond Park. So its scope doesn't even extend to the town common. So in my mind, what that means is right now, a banner at any other location other than Pond Park is not within the scope of that particular policy. I do think, Kate, we should probably at a future meeting think about revising a policy that applies maybe more generally. But with that sort of note, I'm okay approving this particular banner request as we have done in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would just say we could also, and I'm going to let you make all these motions, Kate, but I would say the motion to approve the event should be contingent upon receipt of the certificate of insurance.
Yep.
Sure.
Sorry, did somebody else want to add something? I thought I heard a little noise. Okay.
All right, then I will make a motion to approve Bolton Community Fund's request to hold an event on October 11th, 2025, using the roadways in Bolton, subject to the receipt of a certificate of insurance naming the town of Bolton as an additional insured. Secondly, to approve the request to place 12 by 18 signs within the town's right-of-way beginning on September 27th at the locations listed on the agenda. And three, to approve the request to hang a 3x5 banner at the town common beginning on October 4th and to be removed on October 11th, 2025.
Jenny?
Yep, I just wanted to note that two of the locations that were requested are not town-owned property. I think Route 117 and 495, the town doesn't own any property there. And the second location was Route 85 and Route 117, also private property. There is a right-of-way, but they would need, so any temporary signs are by right on residential property, but you need to have permission from the property owner in order to place a sign there. So for those two locations, they'd need to identify where the signs are going to be placed and contact whoever owns that parcel for permission.
Okay, so my
Yeah,
motion,
that's fair.
my motion is specifically with regard to the town-owned property, I think.
Yeah. So we acknowledge that point, and I think basically, Liz, make sure that you do get the permission of any private landowners that might have jurisdiction over where you want to put the sign, but to the extent it is our jurisdiction, we're approving.
That's great.
Do I need to make that motion again?
No, I was just clarifying. I think the way you worded it, Kate, was fine.
Okay,
So I'll second that. Roll call, Kate,
yes.
and I'm also a yes.
That's great. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Look forward to the event.
Take care.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, and then our next agenda item is we're going to get a departmental update from the Parks and Recreation Commission and our Parks and Recreation Coordinator, Lisa Sheppel. So I can turn it over to Lisa, unless Marie, there was anything you wanted to tee up first.
No, we have, I believe, all of the commissioners, most of the commissioners here this evening to assist Lisa. And the summary had been in your packet.
I think actually, Lisa, it would be great just for anybody that may be watching or watching this later to give those members of Parks and Rec that are here an opportunity to just introduce themselves as well.
Oh, sure.
But I'll turn it over to you now.
Okay, all right, thanks. So we have Martha Babbitt. I don't know, Martha, if you want to say hi. And Anna McEwen, who's new with us. And I think that's it. Who
Yes,
came?
hi, I'm Martha Babbitt. Sorry
Hi,
about that. Nice to see you all.
Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us.
Okay, well, I just want to say, since we just finished our summer, of how well it went. We did really well. I put in the packet of all the comments that we got from people, the kids and the parents. We started out, I know I was here a few months ago, and we were kind of down on enrollment at the summer. But every week we added more, and towards the end of the week, I want to say week 7, we doubled the amount, like week 6 and 7, our last 2 weeks, we kind of doubled the amount from the very beginning, from when we were in May or June. Sorry, I'm not feeling too good. But anyway, so we did really well. We got a lot, we added, we had half the same counselors that we did last year, and then we had half new ones. We had about 25 altogether. And we added some young ones, old ones, but they were so good. We brought in lots of personality, excitement. It was really good to see. And we changed this year. We also did Wacky Wednesdays, which everybody loved. And then we did competition games on Fridays. Every single person got into them. It was so good to see. And yeah, and the kids loved it. We added new programs this year, which went really well. We did a science one last year, but Mass Science ran it. But this year we had a mother run it from Bolton, who she's a doctor. She's a science teacher in Marlborough. And she did experiments with them. That went really well. We did the new program of a Boy Scout ran it for us. He's also a lifeguard too. And the kids really liked that one as well. And oh, and then we added pickleball, who Karen Commissioner taught it, and she's not here tonight. And that went good too. And we ended up playing pickleball other times too. We had it for 1 week. We weren't sure how it was going to go. And the kids really liked it. And then the other thing that we did this year, which I didn't know how popular it was, we played Nukem, a game the kids loved, and they wanted to play it every single day. And it's a game, I don't know if you ever heard of it before, but it's me neither. Um, it's kind of a game off a volleyball net, but instead of throwing it, you catch it, and if you miss it, you're out. But if you catch it, you stay in. So last one standing wins. But they loved that, and they played that. They want to play that every day. And it's a game that's good because counselors and kids, anybody can play it, and you don't need much skill or whatever. But anyway, we had a really great summer, so I was very happy. Hopefully we get some of those counselors back, if not all of them. It was a lot of work. We became a camp this year, as you know. Every week got easier and easier, but the first few weeks was very difficult. Even getting ready for it, was very difficult. But in the end, it was good. And towards the end, because we needed all the medical forms from everybody. So at the beginning, it was really hard. But with the new software, the new way to send the documents to, which I'm going to try to do it a little differently next year. So hopefully it will be easier. But and the end of the summer, we got a lot of duplicates and we already had forms, so it got a little easier as the weeks went on. But we still had, it's a lot of work and a lot of time, and we still had from, I'd say 50 to 80 kids, counselors there from any given week.
Wow, big
Um,
undertaking.
Yes, it is. Yes, and it's the long, so it's 7 weeks. Then we did the training the week before, which worked out good too. Yeah, it's a lot, and it just doesn't end like when the camp ends, because then it's people asking and emails. Gonna ask now. We got new emails coming in that if there's a way, I think they said there's a way to add an email that doesn't go to my email, so at least somebody else at the camp can answer some emails and help that way
Hmm.
too. So,
Well,
um,
thanks for the update on the summer stuff.
yeah.
Um, I
And
think,
we just came out even too. Did you see that? With how much money we made and how much we spent. It was just like,
yeah,
um, yeah, so we did really well.
that's great. I think, since not everybody is necessarily as familiar with what you do the whole year through, I thought it might just be good for you to touch on in your report where you provided the department snapshot. You mentioned the summer programs, but then also the facilities and the community events that Parks and Rec really leads on. So could you just say a few words about each of those areas?
Yep. So then we manage the when people use the town common. So we those events and the meetings that the Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts are using the town common. So we'll manage those too, and then we'll do the other events they have at the town common, but we'll also do the sports teams too on all of the fields, derby, Forbish, and lacrosse. And this year, and we also have the two girls teams that usually use the horse rink, those old rinks back there. But they couldn't do it this year because they're fixing that ramp or whatever they're doing over there. So, but anyway, they managed to find another place to use. Um, and then we also do the events. So if we do the skating rink, it's usually in February. Then the Easter egg hunt. Then Memorial Day, we just supply the coffee and donuts for the Boy Scouts there. And then if we have a summer fall event, we have had the summer events last few years, but this year we haven't. We're discussing the fall event if we're having one, but then Halloween will be coming up very shortly, and that's a big one because we ask a lot of vendors to come out, so I'll be getting ready for that. We have our meeting on next Tuesday, which we were supposed to have today, but I had to cancel it. And then we have the tree lighting um, Thanksgiving weekend on Sunday. So that's right after and plus we have to put up all the decorations for that. Um, and then what else? Then we have a couple projects that I would like to see done, or kind of working on the natural play area at the town common. We started that, but all this requires work and volunteers and help, which is hard to come by these days. And then we're also looking into the Memorial Field Playground, which needs some help. Um, and I would like to add pickleball somewhere. Memorial Field we had looked at. And I think that's it for now. I have a couple more ideas that I would like to see happen, but I like a lot of things to happen, but it's kind of between space and budget and everything else and people. It It's
Yeah.
hard.
I just want to acknowledge, Lisa, I know you're a little under the weather, so I don't want to keep you here for forever, but would welcome any questions from Kate, or if Anna or Martha have anything that they want to add about goals for the year, feel free to chime in as well.
I'd just like to say I did take some time to read through the information that you provided, and I thought it was honestly really well done. I think that your goals are admirable. And just so the general public knows, it looks like Parks and Rec is planning to do a lot of needs assessment and trying to figure out. I mean, I think we all agree that our playgrounds need some help. But I remember that was a capital request last year that came in at something like $500,000, which is just not in Bolton's budget right now. So, seeing that you guys are developing kind of an assessment plan and looking at funding sources that could help, I think I'm really happy to see this. I think this is a great plan forward. That I think we can all work towards some of your concrete objectives here. So,
Thank
I'd
you.
just like to say something that Lisa, she was at that camp morning through night when it was 100 degrees or when it was freezing
Fun.
cold. So she just did a fantastic job. And at the same time, creating it to be a camp instead of a program. It was, I helped Lisa a little bit on that, but there was a lot of work that she did. So just want to thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.
For sure. Thank you for saying that, Martha.
yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
that was a labor of love, I know.
Yeah, but now I'm glad it's done. And I mean, there's some more work and some changes for next year, but the brunt of it is done. So we just need to get more, I think, bring in older staff to help. The young kids are great and their personality is great, but I think we do need some older experienced to help because it's a lot of people, and we're hoping that it went really well this year, that we're going to add next year. I do think like I said, we did start out slow. I do think it was part of the override that nobody knew whether we were going to exist or not, whether those camps were going to exist. The swimming lessons, I think, didn't go as well as we have in the past too. The only other change I think with the swimming is number one, the override, but number two, they've added the past couple years the goldfish in Marlboro, and I don't know if a lot of people use that for swimming lessons these days or not, because our swimming lessons did pretty good, and we have the same girl. I think she's been there for a couple years, and Linda's been there for 15 years, but I think she's been there for 2 or 3 years, and all the kids really like her. So, so the only thing I can think of is the override, and maybe goldfish, but we'll see what happens next year. Hopefully we won't have to deal with that.
Lisa, you made a comment about the need for volunteer help and how it can be hard to come by these days. And I guess maybe a question for Anna or Martha, um, is whether the commission might be thinking about ways to try to, like, I'm just wondering what is deterring people from volunteering, and is it if maybe things were chunked out in a very specific way, so it was like, anybody, can you help with this specific thing? Like,
Yeah.
thoughts you want to share on that?
Well, there's one thing that I've been talking about, and that I really want to create a community so to get the word out, so more people know exactly what we're doing. And then hence we'd start to get some volunteers, because a lot of people in Bolton have no idea who we are or what this group does. So I think as we can start to build the community, and Lisa has a bunch of that in her pages, then we would start to see a lot more volunteers, because they actually know who we are and what we are doing. And start to do some things on the common. We talked about having like fall festival on the common, and just things like that to really get people engaged, because since I've been on this commission, it's just so many people just don't do anything in the town. So that's one thing that we've talked about, is that we really need to build a community.
And to add to that, if I can, kind of working backwards from an event to find the volunteers ahead of time, we're really looking at goal 4, our advertising methods, not just
Yeah.
for increasing participation in programs, but also helping to expand our reach. So we're going to work with Lisa to really establish standard lead times so people have a larger heads up when events are happening, which might inspire some people to step up and volunteer. The new software that she got, MyRac, is fantastic in the recreation industry. And there's so many capabilities for us to better utilize that software as almost a sub website of the town website. So I think we're all really excited to work with Lisa to dig into those pieces, considering a logo, so people could see who we are around town more than just Bolton Parks and Rec. So there's lots that have to go into our advertising methods, I think. Again, not just for program expansion, but for community recognition, acknowledgement, and ultimately volunteerism. So we
Right.
have a lot of
Yeah.
great things on the table.
That comes under that whole community thing that I was building. So
I see we have our unofficial Parks and Rec cheerleader in the background.
It
Love
was
to
their
see
first
it.
day of school today, so they are jacked up.
Oh my gosh. Well, well, on that note, why don't we let the bedtime routine commence? Unless anybody else has questions or comments for Parks and Rec. Just a massive thank you again, Lisa, for all the effort that went into getting the camp designation and the program to be so successful. And Anna and Martha, thank you as well for being here tonight and for, the year ahead.
Yeah, and I really feel like, from everything that we're seeing in the overview that you guys provided, it looks like you have a great plan for the next year. So I'm excited to see, where you guys end up.
great.
Thanks.
Have a good evening. Thank you again.
And
Feel better,
Thanks.
Lisa.
Thanks.
Okay. I know we're a few minutes early for public comment, so I'll invite anybody that has a comment that they wish to make now. You can raise your hand. Just looking, not seeing any. And I can circle back again to this later in a few minutes, just in case somebody had seen that it was scheduled for 7:35 and was waiting until then to show up. So with that, Marie, over to you for the town administrator report, and you're on mute.
Sending sharing request. For this week, I am again promoting that interested tenants of the Alton Neshoba project should be contacting the town planner. There will also be an advertisement running on behalf of Alton Neshoba in this week's Independent. For the select board's information, the short-term parking license had been modified to reflect that the contracting party's name for the parking license had been changed from Wood Partners to Neshoba Valley Builders. I would ask that the board come in just to acknowledge our initial. Same terms, same parameters, and we have been paid rent to date. For the roundabout, Amarillo, the general contractor, is continuing to follow up for a schedule. National Grid has been great. They are up to date. That leaves Verizon being the last utility to relocate their infrastructure and remove the old poles. If folks have also had issues potentially contacting the DPW during the Comcast line moving, there had been a line that had been inadvertently cut. For legislation, there's been no movement on our DCAM land home rule proposal. When I spoke with Senator Kennedy's assistant yesterday, they were checking with Representative Hogan's office to co-sponsor the home rule alcohol, and the town clerk has not heard anything from the Attorney General's office regarding the adoption of the town meeting bylaws. She is checking and monitoring. For the Forbush Mill stream crossing improvements, which have just sort of been an ongoing thing, wanted to give the alert that the contractor is now doing all of their shop submittals, and there will be a pre-construction schedule, which will be forthcoming. The tentative start date for that will be early October-ish. Expected duration is approximately 45 days. Other design work continues on the Route 117 culvert. As a public service announcement, we received notification from Mass DOT that later in September, they will be doing work on the bridge over Still River. This work will be occurring between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. The public safety chiefs are aware, and we don't foresee any issues. For staffing and operations, this may seem a little bit like a replay, but I wanted to again commend the fire chief and his staff. We've received the formal notice through the Insurance Services Office, the ISO rating, that it has officially dropped to an 8B. The impact for the homeowners in Bolton on your insurance premium will vary based on your own insurer and your insurer experience. But it's estimated that our move from a 9, as we were in 2024, to an 8B, as lower numbers are better, could save the average homeowner about 10 to 15% on their insurance. The fire chief is also continuing on by looking at water sources, and his goal would be to move from an 8B down to an 8. We're continuing to work on this. On the heels of that great news, the boil water order for the library and public safety building remains in effect. I think as of tomorrow, it will have been on for 49 days. A video inspection indicated an issue with the casing of the well. There's been an ongoing review of the options, and we're seeking insight from an engineering firm for associated costs. And then we are required to submit a corrective action plan to DEP, which they have agreed to wait till the end of this month. As a caveat, the scope of all of this and the cost are unknown and may be significant depending on the collaboration with DEP and our engineers to find a preferred solution, and DEP's ability to also point us in the direction of alternate funding sources. So sort of on the heels of the good news of the ISO, we give you the unfortunately, also the police chief, who is about to be fully staffed, had recently received news that one of his new hires, an officer who is engaged in field training, will be deployed for a relatively significant deployment this fall. And so he's looking at a hole in his schedule for at least 10 to 12 months. The Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund Committee is working on compiling an application with a planned distribution to the prospective applicants at the beginning of calendar 26. And they're also discussing and coordinating a late fall funding appeal, ideally something that would be an insert in the tax bill.
Can I just ask a quick question? If there are town residents who are interested in learning more about the work of that committee, is there one person on the committee who's like the best entry point contact for that?
We have Al Levin waving his hand. I believe that he is the chair of the committee, and contact information available on the town website.
Great, thanks. I couldn't see the waving hand because of the way the screen was set up, but thank you.
Yeah, waving hands, yeah. Wanted to update the board as well as provide a heads up to residents. We're continuing on our IT cost savings initiatives. As of tomorrow morning, the townofbolton.com email will be cut over to a .gov, the bolton-ma.gov address, same as the police and fire department use, and we'll be moving to a Microsoft shop. You'll be seeing staff putting new mentions in their SIG file for email. And please note, though, you don't need to immediately update everything or double check what email addresses are. The relays for the townofbolton.com will continue to work for at least the next 2 years, if not longer. And per our website vendor, our new design, which ideally will be easier to navigate, will be going live in the spring of 26. Financial. The fiscal 25 free cash has been certified by the Massachusetts Department of Revenue. Wanted to say it has a ridiculous name of free cash, but in effect, it's one-time non-recurring revenue sources. And what it does reflect is the management of the municipal revenues and our expenditures. Per the DOR, again, and you might have heard this in the budget info sessions, strongly advised to use it for non-operational purposes. It's one-time funds for a one-time expense. Our free cash certified number is 2.3 million. I realize that sounds astronomically large. In the past meeting, I discussed our local receipts and how our permit fees due to two major projects, the Alton Neshoba as well as the regional high school, were perhaps 7 times the average permit fees that we receive. We carried forward the free cash from town meeting the advisory's recommendation. And then, if you recall, we'd had the sale of fixed assets in the fall with the town auction of those properties that had made it out of tax title. Additionally, if you think back to the ARPA days when our earlier health consortium was dissolving, we're required to give them advance payment for claims incurred but not received. They've settled up, and Bolton did not incur as many claims as had been projected, so we'd received a one-time payback for that. Departments likewise had turned back 779K. And people say, well, silliness. Wanted to acknowledge that, in effect, this and one thing that has very much impressed me about Bolton and Bolton's departments is that their behavior is to minimize their expenditures and maximize, where possible, their turnbacks. We'd also had some police staffing shifts where people who were budgeted in the fall of calendar year 23 ended up leaving us during calendar year 24. Many of those folks were at the top step, and we'd also suffered through or struggled through, staffing and filling those positions with individuals at a lower step. So our free cash for now is giving us a path and a solid foundation for meeting our deferred current and long-term capital needs. Again, to the extent that free cash is one-time and non-recurring, and for us especially this year, part of the larger components in this are truly one-time events. And so I've also shared with the board members for comparison purposes in this Mass DOR site where we were last year and how we'd been trending over time.
That was great, Murray. Like that overview was really, really helpful. So thank you.
Welcome.
Was that the end of your?
That is the end. That is the end. The next steps for the board's upcoming meeting on the 18th, I'll be distributing the draft capital forms to the board, and I'm speaking with the advisory chair next week along with the town accountant as I have proposals for how we are funding our capital stabilization fund and how we'd be using it. These policies, though, would become the select board's policies, but I want to hear what advisory has to say and start looping them in the process.
Got it. Thank you. I'm just gonna loop back for a second. I don't think anybody new has joined the meeting, but just in case there's any public comment, now would be the time to raise your hand. Okay. So then we can roll right on into select board business. Kate, any public service announcements from you?
Just one, which is that we have our first fall backyard Bolton coming up on the Common on September 13th. I believe it's from 10 to 2. So we hope to see lots of people come out and support local businesses, local vendors, and just engage with the community.
Great. Hope we have good weather. Jenny, I think you had a public service announcement.
Yes, I just wanted to announce that Neshoba Associated Boards of Health is partnering with Westminster Pharmacy to administer regional vaccination clinics. The one in Bolton is scheduled for Wednesday, October 1st from 3 to 6 at Neshoba Regional High School Cafeteria, 12 Green Road. And there's a complete list of clinics available on the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health calendar, and I'll post that in the chat. A couple of notes is that they're still encouraging parents with children 6 months to 5 years to reach out to their pediatrician's office regarding the immunizations, including flu vaccine, because the pharmacy's license doesn't extend to that age range. Also, it's unsure at this time if COVID vaccines will be available. There'll be more to come on that.
Great. Thank you so much. And just noting that the link is in the chat. I have no additional PSAs. Kate, any future items that you wish to place on an agenda?
Not at this point, no.
Okay. How about any select board reports from you?
I've been working on the volunteer handbook. Jenny's been helping out on that, which I appreciate greatly. And that should be in shape to be, I'm going to ask Jen Markey to review it because a lot of it actually pertains to town clerk related stuff. But hopefully we'll be in a position to share it for the next meeting and possibly approve it.
Great. Thank you so much for doing that. I know it's, again, labor of love.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to you because the next item was one that was placed on the agenda at your request, a discussion on the town's use of social media.
Yeah, this is just sort of part of my ongoing campaign to communicate as well as we can with the town about things that I think are of interest and that are important to people. And I know that it is a fine line to walk in terms of how you and I can communicate with the town, without violating open meeting laws. So we need to kind of tiptoe carefully there. The town does have its own Facebook page, and I know that a lot of information is posted there. But I would like to discuss a way to get the information from the town page out more broadly, without relying on citizens to be picking up emails and postings and putting them on other forms of social media. I'd like us to be taking a bigger role in making that happen. So I don't know if you have particular thoughts on how that could happen. I have a couple. But one of the things that I think that we could do without running afoul of the open meeting law is designating one or the other of us or another select board member, when there is one, who could be the laboring oar for posting things from the town page onto the community page, or onto other Facebook pages. There are parents' pages and other places that that I know a lot of Bolton folks look at repeatedly. And certainly there are other things other than Facebook. There's Nextdoor, but I think that might be a way to get the information out to more people without being dependent on residents linking the town Facebook page to other community pages.
Yeah. So let me first just offer a reflection on my, this is very perilous, but a reflection on my understanding of the way the open meeting law applies to, how we might engage with a post. So as I understand it, let's say the town put up a piece of information on the town's Facebook page. And I think we should be trying to drive more people to that to get their information. If either myself or you or a future select board member were to share that post in the Bolton community Facebook page, I don't think like unless we then somebody else weighs in with like an opinion or some form of deliberation, I don't think there's any problem with that. I don't, even if we end up sharing literally the same link, as long as there's no deliberation, I'm not too worried about that. Um, I remember that I think uh, Amy Cohen at one point had been designated like the public information liaison for the high school building project. And so she got into a practice of just sharing stuff from that project's website into different formats. And so I think any member of the select board should feel empowered to share information as they wish on any other Facebook community page. I don't I don't feel comfortable setting an expectation that um, sort of town staff are cross-posting themselves into non-official Facebook or other social media pages, because I think that that just um, it sort of opens a Pandora's box in terms of how much control you have over the forum and all of that. So I'm kind of rambling, but Kate, if you're suggesting that maybe we would designate somebody on the select board to be kind of the default, like, hey, I'm just gonna post this here so people are aware. I'm totally fine with that. And
Yeah.
I think we should, that should be our hazing ritual for the new member of the, no. No, I mean, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as if I'm posting something, you're not commenting on it. Or if you're posting something, I'm not commenting on it. But I would very much like to see that information being pushed out by members of the select board, because I do understand the issues with the town doing it. So
I want to share one other thing too. So um my understanding of like liking things on, so let's just say hypothetically, Kate, you shared a purely informational post from the town's website onto the community Facebook page. And I liked that purely informational post to sort of help boost the algorithm. That's not deliberation. Now, if you then like put a comment, a substantive comment, and then I was starting to go down the path of liking that, that actually wades into potential deliberation. So just want to be clear, like I think it's even okay for us to try to boost through liking just for the algorithm, but not to deliberate.
right, I think comments probably are too dangerous. I think that's not a place we want to go, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think you and I are in agreement in terms of, just getting the communications out there where people can see them.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
And I think we can also, as we come across things like that in our meetings, we can just flag, hey, let's make sure we share something about this. One of us can do it for the time being.
Sounds like a plan.
Marie,
Also wanted to say that we at Town Hall hear your interest, and over the past 28 days, Jetty's been focused on increasing views on the town Facebook page, and I think it's over 700%. In addition, we'll be including on our SIG files, again, with this thing created by Jenny, like us on Facebook and having the town Facebook page. So
that's great.
we hear you.
Thank you. Thank you both, Jenny and Marie, for that.
One last thing, there's also a link on our homepage on the website for liking us on Facebook as well.
Yes.
Okay, so we good on that agenda item?
I'm good.
Great. Next, I think we just need a vote to authorize the chair to execute the Goose Pond Path Street acceptance plan.
Do we need to have a discussion, or do you just want a motion?
If you have any questions, but otherwise I think we just need a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to execute the Goose Pond Path Acceptance Plan dated September 28th, 2023, and revised April 17th, 2025, on behalf of the Select Board, as well as the quitclaim deed for roadway and easements.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Kate,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. Then I know that we had attached to our packet the transportation service contract by and between MART, the Massachusetts Regional Transportation Authority, and the town of Bolton. So I guess, did you have any questions or comments on that, Kate?
No, I mean, I reviewed it. I did not study all 30 pages of it, but I did review it and I didn't have any questions. So I will make a motion to execute the transportation service contract by and between MART and the town of Bolton.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Kate,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. Then for these next two items, Marie, would you mind kind of teeing them up for us?
All right. For the review and consider a draft entertainment license policy, one thing that we've become aware of is that there are individual entities holding a common victular license who would like to have entertainment, potentially outdoor entertainment, and due to where some of the requesting facilities are located, they're proximate to residences. Many communities, per Mass General Law, have an entertainment license. Part of the process for the entertainment license is not to create more hurdles and more steps, but to enable the select board potentially to head off concerns of residents, such as, all amplified music or for outdoor amplified music must cease at, pick a time, PM. Jenny had distributed earlier draft policies and procedures. If you notice the fee, and as we're seeking compliance and we're seeking the opportunity to get feedback from residents and allow the select board to hear and amend the prescribed entertainment. The intent is mainly to get compliance and to become aware. This is for public entertainment likewise, so this is not, I'm having a wedding party in my backyard, because you're presumably not having this event open to the public, nor selling tickets. So that is just one draft within your packet. Wanted to see if the board would be willing to consider, a review to selectively give us your feedback and potentially put this forward for approval.
Marie, is there any time sensitivity around this, or can we? I'll just confess, I think the draft came in yesterday and I haven't had a chance to carefully review it yet. So if there's no need for, I mean, I think we just had on our agenda to discuss and consider. Can we like put this on the agenda for a vote for our next meeting?
Mhm.
But Kate, if you have questions about what did arrive so far, we can talk about them now.
Yeah, I mean, I did look through it and I looked up the two general laws that were cited, and would like to do a little bit more research myself, just to understand it a little bit more. But I certainly think that it makes sense to have a policy. We've got some really, really great places in Bolton, that have the facilities to do some of this sort of entertainment. And I'd like to give them a pathway to do it, that is sensitive to the residents. But I would like to maybe take a further look at the draft policy and flesh it out a little bit more. And one of the things that I noticed that it talked about an annual license, but it was a little confusing to me in terms of what that looked like. Especially since the form that I saw looked like it was only geared towards 1-day licenses. So I think there's a little work to do to get it in final form, but I'm strongly supportive of having a policy in place.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take this up again at our next meeting. And then the Castro Auto Repair situation. Can you,
What we have received official notification from the insurer that there's a pending cancellation. Jenny has been assiduously reaching out and receiving indications of payment, but not official notification from the insurer. So we have conveyed that we require this before October 1st, and wanted to, this is where I look at Jenny for insight, help, phoning a friend here.
I had sent a draft letter if you wanted to send that out on behalf of the board. My concern with this particular entity is that the class 2 licenses are not allowed in Bolton. This one is a pre-existing non-conforming or grandfathered license, and we certainly wouldn't want to jeopardize that that license for them. So I'm doing everything I can to try to encourage them to get that insurance certificate, which is a requirement of the state, I believe, to have that license in town.
so the thank you, Jenny and Marie. So the September 4th, the draft letter dated September 4th would be, I guess if Kate approves, would be sent under my name. And it would be basically that strong reminder to address this. I'm in favor of doing that as a courtesy to the license holder to let them know, like, use it or lose it.
Yeah, I agree. And just so I understand, does it mean that if they fail to provide us with evidence of insurance by October 1, they automatically lose that class 2 license and it is non-replaceable? Do I just understand that right?
Well, I believe the board could revoke the license when they fall out of compliance with that.
Got it. Okay. So Kate, do you want to make a motion to authorize that the town provide that notification letter?
I will make a motion to authorize the chair to sign a letter to Castro Auto Repair, Inc. Concerning the need to bring their insurance policy current prior to October 1st, 2025.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Kate,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. Okay, and then bills and payroll warrants.
I will make a motion to approve the bills and payroll warrants W26-4 and W26-5.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Kate,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. And then I don't believe we have any minutes to review tonight. Oh, sorry.
That is correct.
Mr. Levin, you have a question or a comment? Just take yourself off mute, please.
You asked Marie a question about the elderly and disabled committee. Did you get a complete answer, or do you need more information?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Like, if basically I've had a couple of inquiries for people wanting to learn more, and so I can pass their name along to you, and I can also, I think there's now a section on the website that has information. So
Yeah, there are 2 sets of minutes. At the end of the month, there'll be a 3rd set of minutes, and pretty soon thereafter, there will be a draft application. So
Great.
we're almost there.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you for that. And unless there's any other business, Kate, you know what I'm looking for.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
All right, and I'll second that. Roll call, Kate.
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Marie and Jenny.
Thank
Good night,
you. The
everybody.
time for the record is 7:59 p.m.